The teams that I said was really intriguing going into the second half of the season, the Suns, because we are waiting for Kevin Durant's debut with the team. He joins a franchise that still sits without an NBA title to its name, and that's something the 13-time All-Star would like to change.
I know it's pressure because I'm one of the best players to ever play the game. So every time. So every time I step on the floor, people are going to expect me to do great things, and the team I'm on to do great things. But I enjoy getting better as a player every day. I enjoy just waking up and getting to do this. So I don't ever say anything's a failure if I'm healthy enough to play the game of basketball. But I know what's on our backs, and we understand that, and we want to do the most. We want to get the most out of this opportunity.
Best player to ever play the game.
One of. He said one of.
One of.
He
okay.
said one of.
And I'm big about you speak it into existence, right? So you got to believe it in order to be one of the best to ever play. So what's your reaction when you hear that?
He's right. He is one of the best players to ever play the game. When it's all said and done, he's going to be a top 10 scorer of all time. I do understand what Kevin Durant's doing here. Got to get out ahead of it because you know that pressure's coming. And as you know it, hey, you have a little downturn. It's like, hey, you went out there to Phoenix to try to win. You called your shot. You were out there with Devin Booker and Chris Paul. There is going to be pressure, but getting out ahead of it now, I understand.
It wasn't even the line about the pressure. It was the line about I don't see anything that I do as a failure. That's the one that got me. That's the real setup right there. As long as I get to play the game of basketball, whatever he said after that. Me and him don't agree on that whatsoever. I see a lot of things that I've done as a failure, but I've also used them as an opportunity to learn. But I'll call it exactly what it is. So he's definitely setting this thing up just in case something goes awry.
Well, he's controlling the narrative because he knows he's been in the league long enough to know that it's important to get ahead of these things, like you guys said. So he's putting it out there so he can start the second season off on the right note.
I don't care what he says. Brooklyn was a failure. Like
that was a failure.
That experiment failed.